Jeffrey makes women feel uncomfortable. He stares and he stares and he stares. Jeffrey's the kind of guy who doesn't stop staring after you look at him. He just makes you feel weird, like, turn around, bro, what the f? Now imagine that same thing, but he's doing it to your sister, to your mother. He has no respect because Jeffrey has been raised in an over-sexualized society that actually promotes looking at women like sex objects. Jeffrey, although he is a spurg and a weirdo, he is somewhat of a victim. He's been conditioned by the modern world around him. Most of the times that a young man like Jeffrey sees women, especially on the internet, they're not clothed. They're in sexual positions. He sees music videos of female rappers who are literally spreading their legs open and having confidence about it, and they're getting dry humped by their male dancers. He sees social media posts by feminists who are taking clothes off and then telling men not to view them as sex objects. You know what? I don't think we can really blame Jeffrey in this situation. Adonis is the man that we aspire to be, and so he has a totally different view of women than the majority of young men. Whilst all the red pillars and degenerate pickup artists say to not respect women and, you know, to treat them like shit and like... Fucking cringe, bro. Adonis goes about it a different way. He simply treats the women that he interacts with just like he would treat his daughter. That's with respect and love and generosity. It of course doesn't mean that Adonis is a nice guy, of course he's not. But it simply means that he's not a I was in the sauna of my gym, and outside of the sauna you can see like there's a jacuzzi. I go to kind of like an influencer gym where there's like a lot of like very attractive people. There's a bunch of like Instagram models, and usually the clothing that girls would wear in the jacuzzi is just kind of like a normal bikini. There was this one time where I saw two, I would assume Muslim, they were brown and like they were covered up, so I'd assume Muslim. Two Muslim girls in the jacuzzi, and they were covered up, wearing a full swimsuit all the way, full sleeves up to like the neck. And do you know, previously, like a couple of years ago, I would have maybe insulted, not to them, but like, you know, in my own mind thinking like, oh, they're Muslim, but they don't know about the truth about science and, you know, all this bullshit. I just kind of looked at them, and inside of me, I felt instant respect. It was like my mindset had just been changed, and I just felt like, those are women who respect themselves, like, to such a tremendous amount. They probably feel so secure in themselves that they don't need the validation of strangers to look at their bodies. They knew that people might judge them. They knew that, you know, it's conventional to wear, like, quite revealing, like, it's, you know, you're going in the water, so you wear, like, a bikini or, you know, whatever, like, swimsuits that girls wear. They knew that they probably would get some kind of judgment for that. And yet their values and their morals were so strong that they thought, like, yeah, the judgment doesn't matter. And what had my respect the most, it was thinking that if these women are married, that is such a level of commitment and respect to their husbands, which they actually think like, nope, I don't want some other guy to see any part of my skin. And I think most of Western society saw or even see this as repression. Feminism really fought against this. I think that was a mistake. The West has fully integrated feminism, and it's supposed to be for like women's rights, you know, to make women's lives better. And one of the major parts of feminism has been to reduce how much women are seen as sex objects, and, you know, to show, yes, they are humans and they're worth so much more. We are at a very up level of modern feminism where now most modern feminists make themselves more sexual for the sake of freedom. They want you to not look at them like they're sex objects, but then they will post themselves sexually and say, don't look at me sexually. So what's the effect of that? Well, men in the West are so sexually obsessed because a young guy will hop onto TikTok or Instagram and he'll see underage girls dancing in like sexually provocative ways. And so young men in these countries, they only really see women in this position, especially because of like internet algorithms. The women who are a lot more wholesome, the women who spend their days reading and walking with their family, they're not going viral on TikTok or Instagram. I want you to think how crazy that is, that modern feminism has made it so that young men only can see women as sexual objects, but then young men are told, don't look at women like they're sexual objects. And the idea that countries that are religious repress women because, you know, women have like less rights and they're covered up. I'm starting to disagree with it now. I think that's respect, not repression. Imagine a husband who has a wife who dresses up modestly, who covers herself up. Imagine you being that husband. Imagine seeing your wife literally cover up her skin because of her loyalty to you. Because in her mind, it's like she only wants you to see any kind of private parts of her body. And in the modern day, we're so like happy for the influencers who are just shaking ass on Instagram. Those are the feminists. Like, how is that feminism, bro? That's like, that's fucking stupid to me. I don't understand why everyone thinks that that's like female empowerment to show more skin. Seeing all this happen, it gave me so much more respect to religions. I've been thinking so much about the value of faith. You've probably seen my videos where I talk about positive thinking and visualizations. All of that is just faith. I did a YouTuber meetup in Amsterdam and I spoke about religion to one guy who was asking me questions. And in the middle of our conversation, I said something to him which felt so profound that it just stuck in my mind. I said, bro, think about it. The people who are religious have a literal God level accountability. If you're a person of faith and you think that, you know, God is everywhere, Allah is always watching, imagine the level of accountability you have to make sure that you're not going to do anything bad. That sounds beautiful. For pretty much most of my life, I turned a complete blind eye against religion, and I was always into like science. And it really occurs to me that with all of our scientific and technological advancements, we've lost our souls. We can live longer than humans have previously, but so many people are choosing to literally kill themselves. A long life with no soul is no life at all. We're in the best times of humanity, and yet we're all depressed. And I think that really, really has something to do with our lack of faith. It's an interesting thought to keep in mind. And you know that I'm not saying anything new on my channel, don't you? Like, you know, I'm taking the credit and I'm the one who's becoming successful. The truth is, bro, that all of the self-improvement advice that I've gave you is just regurgitated from religion. Don't get into casual sex, don't take drugs, don't be a fucking degenerate, be grateful, be mindful and present and loving. Those are all lessons from religions. It's very interesting. I'd love to get more into religion and faith. It has been something that's been on my mind for a while. It's just kind of like, it feels so hard. I don't know if I just haven't been making enough effort, but yeah. Scroll down right now and click on the subscribe button. Also click on the share button and send this link to a friend who might find it interesting. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.